Hello everyone and welcome to Storytime here at the Graves Library. I'm Miss Lyn and I'm very happy that you're here to join me today. How is everyone doing? Good, that's wonderful. I hear some laughter and I see smiles and I'm really happy that you're here to join me today. So let's get started. Are you cozy, comfy? Although you might need to move a little bit for the first activity that we're doing today. I know, an activity before we get into our story. So, do you have your hands ready, your head ready to move, and are you ready to shout hooray? I know, what song is that? I'm going to guess that most of you know this song, but if it's new to you, move along with it, and I'm sure you'll be able to pick up the rhythm. All right, so we have to get our hands ready, and join me if you know it. Here we go. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Great! I could hear you all. That's wonderful. All right, here we go. This time we're going to nod our head, just like this. If you're happy and you know it, nod your head. If you're happy and you know it, nod your head. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, nod your head. There we go. This time we're going to shout hooray. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray. If you're happy and you know it, your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray. All right, this time our last stanza is about doing all three, okay? If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Hooray! If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Hooray! If you're happy and you know it, your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Hooray! That's fabulous. Kiss your brain. You did it. I know. It's a special thing that I love to do when I was with other friends at another time in the school where we kiss our brain because we did such a good job. Thank you very much for joining me. And next time we'll try it again, maybe with some different movements. So be thinking about what you would like to do with if you're happy and you know it. All right, now let's get cozy and comfy. Find a special place to sit. Find that blankie that's so comfy when you're listening to a story, or snuggle into your person that you're with in their lap or next to them. And we are in for a good read today. I have brought Learning to Ski with Mr. Mcgee, written and illustrated by Chris Van Dusen. And a special thank you to Chronicle Books in California. They are our publishers of this great book. So on the cover, we see Mr. Mcgee and his little dog Dee. I heard something. Did you hear it too? I heard a rhyme. Ski, Mcgee, little dog Dee. That's a clue to our story. So let's begin by looking at the wraparound cover. Oh, look at that. I see somebody over here that might be part of this story. Yes, Mr. Moose. We'll see how he gets involved in this book. And then I wanted to show you something else. There are our end papers with snowflakes, and we've been talking a lot about snowflakes these days. And then we have what's called a book flap. And you see how that cover wraps around? We have a front flap and we have a back flap. And on the back flap, it always talks about the author and illustrator. So there's some words here about Mr. Van Dusen. And do you know, he lives here in Maine. Absolutely, where we all are today. Mr. Van Dusen lives in Maine. And on the front flap, it talks to us about the story. So there's some words here that talks about one winter morning, Mr. Mcgee and his little dog Dee head out bright and early to learn how to ski. So when you come into the library and you're looking for a good book to take home with you, you can find out a little bit about it on the front flap, and you can find a little bit about the author and the illustrator. Wonderful. And I think these end papers are so pretty. Those white snowflakes on the blue background. And here's our title page, Learning to Ski with Mr. Mcgee. He looks like he's doing okay. We will find out. Do any of you know how to ski? A few of you? I know how to ski. I just haven't been on skis for a long time, but it is a lot of fun. Okay, here we go. One winter morning at 6:53, Mr. Mcgee and his little dog Dee woke to fresh snow and a beautiful sky and decided it's time to give skiing a try. Before we drive all the way up to Mount Snow, follow me, Dee. I know right where to go. Across from the house and just up the way is a great little hill with a view of the bay. We'll practice up there till we learn how to ski, then we'll head for the mountain, said Mr. Mcgee. His little dog Dee looks so excited, doesn't she? A few minutes later, they came to a spot where nothing could get in their way. Mcgee thought, so he put on his skis, Dee hopped in the pack, and with poles in his hands and his dog on his back, he inched to the edge very slowly until his skis teeter-tottered, then started downhill. Not far down the hillside from Mr. Mcgee, and just out of sight, there happened to be a curious moose. He was out on a search for the succulent sticks of the great northern birch. Then he spotted a tree, the biggest he'd seen, on the opposite side of a gaping ravine. You see that birch tree right here with the white bark? That moose wants to go over and have breakfast. But there's a very large ravine here, which is a gaping ditch. It's very, very deep. He's got to think about how he's going to get to that birch. And look who's coming down the hill. Here comes Mr. Mcgee and his little dog Dee. The moose turned around, and what did he see? Mr. Mcgee and his little dog Dee. The moose was so shocked he stood frozen in fear. But Mr. Mcgee hadn't learned how to steer. And he knew very soon they were going to collide, so he called to the moose, "Would you please step aside?" Uh-oh. But the moose didn't move, so Mcgee yelled, "Duck!" And that was the moment they ran out of luck, 'cause while they were sliding right under the moose, the tips of the skis snagged the log of a spruce. Another uh-oh. In a flash and a flip, they flew over the log, tossing poor Mr. Mcgee and his dog head over heels straight into the gap. When the ends of the skis came down with a slap. So there they were, stranded, Mcgee and his pup, across a ravine 100 feet up. Oh, wow. They hung there, suspended, not making a sound. When the moose came back, he looked all around. He didn't see Dee or Mcgee, but what's this? A bridge! to the birch above the abyss. The moose still wants his breakfast, and he needs to get to that birch tree. Look what he's thinking about doing. Oh my. The moose took a step. He was steady and slow, but his weight caused the skis to sag and to bow. And when he looked down, his heart skipped a beat, for Mr. Mcgee was right under his feet. They popped in the air with a zip and a zing, and up like a rocket shot Dee and Mcgee. Landing feet first, just as safe as can be. Wow. Phew. Well, that was exciting, said Mr. Mcgee, but I'm not really sure we learned how to ski. I think that I might need a lesson or two. I think that perhaps it's the best thing to do. And when we get home, he said with a smile, we'll let someone else use the skis for a while. He did. He gave his skis to his snowman out front. I think he's decided it's best to probably not go skiing again until he has a lesson. Looks like he has hot chocolate in his mug, and he looks happy to be at home. That was quite a story. I have to go backwards. I'm looking at this page right here. In a flash and a flip, they flew over the log. Look at his little dog Dee covering his eyes. I can't look. This is too crazy. Mr. Mcgee and his expression is just incredulous. He can't believe what's happening. Oh boy. Here's one more. Another favorite of mine. Look at those expressions. You see his skis all the way up here at the top? His feet are staying in the bindings. That's a good thing. Thank you, friends, for listening to the story today. I hope you enjoyed it. It's called Learning to Ski with Mr. Mcgee, written and illustrated by Chris Van Dusen. I love a good rhyming story, and especially with Mr. Mcgee. There are other books about Mr. Mcgee, too, and if you haven't heard them, they'd be good ones to check out if you like this one. All right, now on to our craft for today. Oops, getting my pieces here. All right, so today you swing by the library and, oh, what do you see? Look at him peeking. Yes, it's Mr. Moose from our story of learning to ski with Mr. Mcgee. Here we go. So in your bag of craft items, you will have 2 yellow antlers and a brown moose face. You'll have googly eyes, nostrils, and you'll have these blue strips. You'll have 2 of them. What do you think you're going to make with something that looks like this? A headband. You're right. It's going to go around your head, just like that. And the adult that's with you can take a minute to see if we can use my stapler. There we go. Staple them together. Then you can just, it's a little small for my head, but you can put it down on your head, and I'm sure it will fit perfectly. There's the back side. I used tape for this project. I have a tape dispenser, and if you pull it in closely, you can see where I've taped the antlers to the back of the head. I also used glue stick, which we have a lot here, for his eyes and his nostrils. Also in your bag of craft items, I put a picture. There's Mr. Moose. So if you needed any extra visual, you have a sheet of paper with this picture, You'll have all the parts and pieces to make this fun headband, the blue straps. And again, whatever's easier for you, you can certainly use glue stick for the whole project, or you can use glue and tape, or you can use only tape. I'm going to leave that up to you and the adult that you're with. I know, he's just delightful. So we'll put him down here so he can continue to peek at you. There we go, you can see his nostrils. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again next time. And for now, enjoy the snowy weather that we have coming up. I know there's a storm coming. Probably the day you're watching this video, you might be able to go outside and jump around the snow for a little bit. But there'll be plenty of sledding and skiing and making snowmen and all of that good snow that's coming our way. All right, here we go. Thank you for listening to Learning to Ski with Mr. Mcgee, and I will see you back here next time. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.